Hello coders, good afternoon. I've jumped straight into the stream, not doing any intro because a wee bit late today, obviously. Normally do this at 2:30 and it is now 4 o'clock, so we are a bit late. Couple of things happened. The keyboard didn't work and also the mouse, and I had to get the old keyboard and mouse from the Apple stuff and then try and deal with the Bluetooth connectivity on there. I'm using a Logitech MX Master 3 and an An Pro 2, and they didn't work. Had a little bit of a dig into the Apple support forums, and it turns out that there's apparently a problem with the file vault that you need to turn off to allow other Bluetooth devices to connect first before the Apple hardware. You know, the Magic Mouse and the Magic Keyboard. It's just odd, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Why would you have to turn off the file vault in order to do... I don't know. Let's just chalk that up as a reason number many as to why I need to switch to Linux rather than to use Mac all my life. Anywho, today what we're going to do is work on some more CSS fixes. We have a couple in GitHub that we are... If I just bring it up here, let's get into the code. Get into GitHub. There are a few that I want to play with. I have to deal with that pull request as well. So for the first hour, it's now coming up to 4. I'm going to just make that as a pull request. That was something I did yesterday, so I'll just create that as a pull. For this hour, we're going to focus on this one here. Footer margins are too big on mobile. We're going to fix this one, and we're going to spend the first hour doing it. And if we complete it within that hour, then we'll move on to the next. I was going to work on pagination. There is pagination missing from courses, but I'm starting to think that maybe instead of paginating, we should do something different. Maybe have subcategories in the courses. So for instance, on the course page, you would have PHP, or you would have HTML, or you would have Docker, rather than have all the courses together. So that is up for debate. However, these things aren't. So this is what we're going to fix today, footer margins. So you can see that there's 2 here. We can see that 1, the margin between the footer blocks should be reduced, and 2, the padding between the first section. So that, yes, so there's that and that. They need to be reduced, and then the whole main thing. So there's kind of 2 issues here. Well, there is 2 issues. I've marked it as 2. So I suppose we can look at one first, and then take a look at the second one. Footer block on the footer is too big. All right, let's do that then. One thing though I am aware of is that before this stream, I did set Docker to be being upgraded. So I just want to see what the progress is on that. Update and restart. I don't know. Is Docker actually going to work? Who knows? Docker ps-a, anything? No, brilliant. Okay, so it would appear that Docker is trying to restart, which is going to screw me up a little bit. Oh yeah, I can see it restarting now. It's in that little app icon in the menu thing. Okay, whilst that's going on, let's do a git status. Let's see. Aha, Docker needs this thing. Docker needs privilege. Right, let me do all this off stream. Good. Docker is now starting. Right, let's bring up. Woo! We're back. Docker engine is starting. That's a good thing. Right, so we need to do a git status, and I just want to see what's on here. It's just That's fine. Let's do git checkout of main. Let's do a git poll. Thank you. Okay, cool. So what we've got a new SQL dump and some changes to course fixtures. Okay. Let's do a git checkout of, let's bring that up a little bit. We're going to create our branch. We're going to do checkout, -b. We're going to do fixes. Did I try and do this already? Let's have a look at what branches I have available. No, I don't think so. Oh, mobile footer. Okay, let's do that. So let's do a git branch -d fixes mobile footer. Because I believe that's what we were trying to do. I'll recreate that now. Branch git checkout -b fixes mobile footer. There we go. All right, so I just created that new branch. How is Docker doing? Is it alive? Is it kicking? Let's have a look. Apparently it's up. Yep, good. Okay, let's do a Docker machine. Let's get into it. And also, we need PHP Storm. Where has that gone? Come on. Okay. Right. So let's get into the templates. We need to play with the template. We need to play with the, well, it's going to be front end, and it's probably going to be, yeah, it'll be here in the footer. Yep. How are we doing with this? Are we able to do an env eval? Sorry. And now if we did docker ps-a, good stuff. Let's do a docker compose -up just to bring up the stuff that isn't up. All good things. And then, right, so that we can get rid of that window now. Off you go. Let's bring up Chrome, and let's go to how to code well local. And this is on a mobile screen. So we've got 6 minutes have gone already. 6 minutes of setup time. So in the football world, that would be classed as extra time. 6 minutes of extra time to be added. Okay, so let's set this up. Let's set this up as it is, because we pulled in the new stuff and we need to deal with the dump files here. So let's do a make db test. Is it load? So this is where it'll do a rebuild of the migrations. One thing I did yesterday was I added some sections into, or a section into the courses page, which is about learning outcomes. So I've added learning outcomes for the courses. And I want to add in another section of prerequisites. There we go, that's done. And also I added in some more courses. So hopefully if we refresh this, we should see some more. We should see 3 more, I think. Should we? Or are they on the courses page? Yeah, okay. So I found a bug there. On the home page, we're only displaying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whereas on the courses page, we're showing all of them. So that's an issue. We'll earmark that one down for when we try and get back to our 15-minute rule. But for now, if we go into more tools, dev tools, we want to play with the footer, don't we? Because that's what the issue is, the footer. What is that on the right hand side? What? All right, let's just focus on the footer. I think that's a bug. That doesn't look right. Let's focus on this footer then. The idea, if we compare this with the screenshot, let's just bring that down a wee bit. Let's get to the screenshot, which is here. Okay, so we want to focus on the... we want to focus on these things in between. And we want to focus on this. Can you see it's slightly bigger? So there's two issues here. And I believe this is the same throughout. Well, it would be this because the footer is there's only one footer. So yeah, it's going to be the same throughout thing. All right. So, and can I just compare that? See, that doesn't have that crazy. I think I've put something into the CSS to put in a scroll bar on the right hand side. It's another issue. Okay, stop getting distracted. So what we want to do is play with this now. So we've got two issues. So we'll treat it as two things. So the first thing is the space in between. And if we jumped onto here, we can see that we have... let's bring that out. We have a div. We have a menu. On the footer we have what looks like padding or margin on the top. We'll work on that in a minute. It's the ones in between. So we can see that we have what's that? Margin on the bottom, and then we've got a UL, and inside that UL we've got a bunch of LIs. So it looks like we've got margin on the bottom. Yeah, margin bottom 2, you can see that, margin bottom 2. And then we got padding 2. So I think what's happening is because we've got margin 2 on the bottom and we got padding 2, being that we have padding on the bottom and on the top, we're making this huge. Now, why is that margin 2? Let's have a look at what it looks like in, say, an iPad for a second. And we bring that to 100%. So why would we have... and why can't I get to it? Hang on. Let's do responsive. There we go. Why do we have margin bottom 2? What benefit is that to anything? I don't think it is. So I think first shout is to get rid of the margin bottom 2 on all of them. So we'll do that. Yep. Yep. Okay, so... Oh. Come on, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay. So that, there's not much difference there, but on this. So let's change that up now to be iPhone. And what have we done? So they're still looking a wee bit large, but we have brought them down. The next is... I want to say it's the padding. because the last on the UL there isn't anything on the ULs, so it must be in the divs, which means it must be on the paddings. So I'm wondering if we have to do PB 0 to crush the padding on the bottom. Let me just put that in and just see. Yeah, it's looking better, isn't it? It's starting to bring it down. So, yeah. Still a bit high. Okay, what's going on with the actual LIs? Or the A's, what's in the A's here? So it's got margin top of 4. Ah, right. Right. Okay, so the first one has a margin top of 4. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. I think what we should do is on the first one is do MD margin top of 4. That's much better. All right, let's screw the padding for a minute. Let's just focus on these A's. I think this is where the problem lies. So let's just get into the code. This is the A's. Let's change that to be MD on all of them and just see what difference that makes. So with MD, I'm saying only do it from medium displays, which means that the standard display, or small display I should say, would have the margin of 0. Well, wouldn't have any margin top, I think. Yeah, no, that should be right. Do. Anything else? No. All right. Right, let's just save that and then let's just refresh this. So that'll wipe out all the styles that I've put in this markup. Is that refreshing? Yeah. Let's make that a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay, so I've removed the margin top of all of the A's, which I think is good. Alright, so now we've got the padding bottom. So I'm which we can remove anyway because I've tested it and it doesn't seem to be doing anything on the other displays. So we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this one. Okay, let's refresh, see what that does. Still looking a bit. It must be the padding bottom on here. Yeah. So I'm gonna do PB 0. Yeah, I'm going to do it on that one. I'm going to do it on this one. And this one here. And and we'll see. Bit of trial and error this. It's looking bit tighter. It's the padding on the top now, isn't it? Yeah, it's the padding on the top. I just want to see what it looks like on responsive. I haven't messed anything up. So that's good. Let's go back to iPhone. I wish it wouldn't jump from like 100% to 75 each time. Alright, so it's the padding on the top that we need to be wary of. The padding on the top on this one... I'm wondering what would happen if we just do PT. Yeah, let's do PT 0. And then we can do a bit of refactoring on this because we can do PX, can't we? So let's just take the padding on the top off for that one, and that one. And let's just see what that does. I think that might do it, you know. Yeah, that's more like it. That's more what I want. Just a list of links. Whereas when you get into responsive, they're grouped together like that in 3 columns. That looks much better. I've taken all the unwanted stuff off. That's cool. I think though we can do a little bit of refactoring on the actual Tailwind classes. Whoops. Because what we're saying is here is P2 and then PB0 and PT0. So I think really what I care about here is the left and right, don't I? To be honest. Do I even need to care about that? Because we've got PX4. Do I need to care about this? I'm starting to think no. Which in that case, if we've got PX of 4, see that's what I would do. I'd just do PX of 2 on each one and not bother with the PB. But because we've got PX of 4 up here on the parent container, I'm wondering if we can just do something a little bit drastic and remove all of these. Don't know what's going to happen, especially on responsive mode, but we will see. Give it a go. All we should see here is that jumps to the left a wee bit. Which is fine. I think. Let me just double check something a minute. That's going to be centered, isn't it? So, but we can see where the box starts. I mean, really, technically speaking, these should be bigger. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, let's just see what it looks like on responsive. Responsive. That actually doesn't look so bad. And you can see it actually lines up better. I'm happy with that. You can see it all lining up on the left-hand side. I think we've managed to take out a load of bugs there with several happy accidents. I like that. All right, so there was one more thing, wasn't there? If we go back to iPhone 5, and that is the distance between here. Let's just... Although, have I solved that? I have. Another happy accident. I've solved the distance between this and this and this and this. They are the same. Yes, PT4, and so that's padding top of 4, And so this one down in here has an M of 4, margin of 4, which would give us the margin on the bottom of 4. So they are matching. Wow. Okay. We solved that in hardly any time. Nice. Nice. Okay, we're still within our hour of just throwing things together, so let's do a git status. Let's throw that over the wall. So, adjusting footer margins. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, so go back to here and we go into our issues. Pull requests, sorry. And we run the pull request on that. Let it do its thing. There was another one, wasn't there? That one that's already been complete. So I'll merge that in. Okay, so we think that is fixed. Well, it is fixed. So we can close that now. I should have closed it after I merged, but nah. Okay, so within the well, we got plus an extra 6 minutes added, so let's do half an hour, 35, 40 minutes. Within the next 40 minutes, what else can we do from this bug list? Now, pagination, that was the original thing I was going to play with, pagination. Okay, so this one here, so I've done all the courses apart from the courses that aren't uploaded to the premium video hoster. So there are a lot more that I have to do, but there's a prerequisite on me that I have to upload stuff for that to happen. So we can't touch that for a bit. Still umming and ahhing about that one. List of lessons should be scrollable. Yes, I mean we could look into why there seems to be a margin on the right. Course image on mobile view is in the wrong position. Yes. So we can either work on these or we can just get an enhancement done. Let me have a look at this one for a second. I don't want to get too distracted. Okay, course fixtures to hold any array. This is what I was playing with yesterday. So let's just go and see what I did. If we went over to config, courses, no. Fixtures, course. They're all the deprecated ones. Cool. Here we go. So up here we should have. Oh, wait, I haven't merged this in yet, have I? Oh, I have merged it in, but I haven't pulled it down. Git checkout of main. Git pull. Gotcha. Alright, and there is a dump file there. Let's get that into play. Let's do a make db test load. We may as well finish this off, I think. There we go. So you can see all the learning outcomes have been added. And I've done them for each one of the courses that we've got here. So there is a bunch of learning outcomes. And I've also, yesterday I did the build Is that still going through? Yeah. So we'll wait for that to go. Yeah, so yesterday I added in the fixtures for those. Let's come out of this for a second. Let's come out of that. It's this horizontal scroll, this vertical scroll I need to look at, I think. Yeah, so sorry, if I go to like a Docker machine, any course, there should now be learning outcomes. Now I've just dumped it in the middle of the page, which isn't great, because I was hoping that maybe today I could move it somewhere down here. So I'm thinking maybe it comes as on the left hand side as learning outcomes, and this whole page I want to just rebuild because it doesn't look very good. I mean, we were attacking it last on we were attacking it using on YouTube last week, trying to play with where this goes. Ideally I want that in between, but I'm thinking now we should rebuild this whole thing, because I want to have learning outcomes, I want to have prerequisites, so there's going to be two other things. I want that on the right hand side, I want this top right, I want to change the order of all of these things, so there is stuff coming, but I just need to jot it down. But anyway, that's what we got now, learning outcomes. And obviously I want to stylize this a bit better. Anyway, so there's that. In the ticket I have update course fixtures to hold an array of learning outcomes. That's done. Update database. Yes, that's done. Update course page to display learning outcomes. That is done, I guess. Update CMS to allow for learning outcomes to be created, deleted, and updated. So I suppose we could play with that. Let's just see. I haven't done a lot of CMS work for a while. So let's get to... I'm not sure if we can fit this all in actually within 40 minutes. It's probably not a good idea to do this knowing that... Yeah, I tell you what, we'll use this time more effectively. What we'll do is we'll say, right, this becomes another issue. It's a bug. And we'll say that CMS is missing learning outcomes. Course learning outcomes. It's not a massive issue because I'm doing everything via the fixtures, so it's not a humongous issue. Like, it shouldn't prevent... Yeah, it shouldn't prevent the other ticket from being launched. So CMS is missing learning outcomes. Code issue. So I'm just breaking this up into smaller chunks of work. Okay, so create a learning outcomes section in the CMS that allows for in the CMS. This will allow this will okay. Learning outcomes can be added, can be created, deleted, and updated. All right. And yeah, let's just run with that. I'm going to go to the issues. That is a bug, so I'll need to label that as such. And we don't have CMS, never mind. Okay. Just because I want to pick the other issues that are not working very well in this enhancement as bugs, because I think I can split these out in smaller chunks. So there's that one. I'm going to just close this down. All right. Okay, we'll have a go. We'll have a play. We've got a couple of minutes. We'll have a go with it. So we'll do. I can't even remember how to get into it. Let's try. It's been a while since I've been in the CMS. As far as I'm aware, it might all fall over. I mean, the acceptance tests all seem to work, but no. Here we go. Sweet. Let's jump in. Oh, great. Let's see if I can remember what this is. Come on. Here we go. Yes. Okay, so in courses, I'll show you all this in a minute. Wow, it is not fast. Here we go. Okay, so in the CMS, let's say for instance I want to edit the PHP control structures course. You can see there's a ton of issues in this CMS. It's hand rolled, so there's a lot of TLC that we could do with this, but it doesn't need to be 100% perfect. It literally is just me doing this thing. As you can see, it looks terrible. So somewhere down here, we need to have a way of supplying learning outcomes. So what we'll need to do is, I don't know why that's under packed, that shouldn't be there. What we'll need to do is have like some sort of button that says add another one, or we could create a whole page specifically for this. I don't know. The more I look at this, the more terrible I think it is. Perhaps we need to have like tabs where we got like learning outcomes, description, and this whole save thing. But there's a lot of issues. Throw a stick at any of this and you'll find an issue. The learning outcomes are on the course. They're not on the. And that was on edit mode, right? So let's have a look at remind myself what it is on view mode. There's bugs here. That should all be, that should be a WYSIWYG editor. So let's do view mode. Let's see what difference that makes. So you got your tutorials here. Yeah, so ideally you would have, and this is missing an edit button, really. Oh, is there an edit button down there? Yeah. I think we could do a lot with this, but the thing is, it's not my main concern, the CMS. It would be nice if we could break this up into tabs. So we have like learning outcomes, sort of image to upload, content, maybe, yeah, and then you save sections of these. That's an issue. I need to sort that. Okay, so there's quite a lot of play here. Thing is, I don't know, are these all in one form? Because if they're not, it would be easier, because then I could have a form per display. Let's just have a little investigation whilst we got some time, and then we'll get into our 15-minute roll in a second. Well, once this is done. Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for form. These are all the forms. So we have... I just want to see in controller, in CMS, in course controller, I just want to see how this is all rigged up. So that's a new, that is show, this is edit. Right, so we create a course, form, course type. Let's go into there. Can I? Thank you. Yeah, so that's a separate form. That's these aren't. That is. Code, supplier, slug, content. See, part of me is thinking maybe we should do this before we add in the learning outcomes. I've just said that the learning outcomes doesn't matter if they're in the CMS because I'm using YAML fixture files, and at the moment it's the amount of fixtures I've got is light enough for me to do that. But obviously when this goes live, we're going to need to use CMS, obviously, obvs. So it's not a concern yet, but it will be soon. So maybe I should create a task in GitHub. To split this out in the CMS. Otherwise, we're gonna have like at least like 3 or more outcomes, and a button that just says add. Yeah. All right. I tell you what. Let's just spend the rest of the time planning that out. I like that. Let's plan. Okay, so we'll time box it till about 5:15, and we'll see if we can get it done beforehand. That's great. If not, then we've spent too long on it. Let's do that. So let's go to issues and let's go to new issue. It is a feature, I suppose you could call it a feature. Another thing I would love to do is this is where I get really distracted here, is to create a better issues template where you can actually use GitHub Forms, but that's a rainy day project. All right, let's do this properly. So we don't have a CMS label yet, so let's go and create one. That'll do. Yeah, it is a new feature. So what are we going to call this? CMS course forms, form tabs. Okay, so the feature details is to split out the course form into separate tabs. Okay, let's write some rules down. So I want each tab to be savable. Each tab can be saved. All right, no. First of all, let's just think about what the tabs should be, right? Let's do that. That's probably a good shout. So let's split this out. So the first one I reckon is title, subtitle. The external, I think maybe title, subtitle, and content should be one thing, I reckon. So tab 1 is equal to title, subtitle, and content. Yeah, and content. Tab 2, it doesn't really matter in which order, I don't think. Could be image. Tab 3, let's have a look at what we've got here. So we've got external, could be code, tab 4, so that's code upload. Tab 4, what can we do with tab 4? What are we missing here? We need to have active, and we probably should have published date. We could probably put slug in here as well. Title, subtitle, slug, stroke, external. Image, code upload, and then this one is going to be active. Publish date. And also we have, we also have supplier and author, which I think could probably go in with tab 4. So if we were to name these tabs, we could have tab 1, call that content, call that description, no. Oh, we are missing learning outcomes, aren't we? That should be a tab in itself. So tab. That's now tab 5. So tab could be content details. tab 2, we could just call it image. Assets, there we go. In fact, tab 2 could have the image as well as code upload. Excellent. Tab 3 then. We'll have learning outcomes. And we could just call that learning outcomes. Yeah. And tab 5 can be called publish. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. You got active there, publish date. I'm not sure about the supplier or the author. Maybe they need to be separate. Well, if I was to do this like as a WYSIWYG, you would have your external URL. If the slug isn't set, no, you can have an external URL and a slug because the slug is the local one and the external. Yeah, okay, fine. So maybe I don't really want to make this huge bit of a form, but maybe we put those up there. No, let's not do that. Perhaps for now we'll just leave it under publish, but maybe we should call something like meta or something, or author. For the most part, yeah, okay, let's just leave it like that. All right, so tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. I mean, I think this is quite a big chunk of work, this, because essentially what we're going to do is split this up into tabs, and each tab will be in its own page. So we could even have like edit / say learning outcomes, right, which will take you to this part of the learning outcomes tab. There's going to be prerequisites to all of this. So for instance, if you can't get to the publish tab or the assets tab or the learning outcomes tab unless the content details are in, so it's going to be more of a flow. So we're going to need some JavaScript. All right, let's write some rules down. Each tab can be accessed via an anchor link. So it would be something like edit. So e.g. /course / ID / edit / learning outcomes. That's number 1. Number 2, publish cannot. Okay, so course needs to be saved in the order of the tabs. e.g. a course cannot be published before its title has been added. Okay. By default, grey out all the tabs, or disable grey out, grey. By default, all tabs are disabled for the first one. Except for the first one. Okay. A tab is only enabled if the previous data, if the course has sufficient data to enable the tab. I think maybe this is going a little bit too far. I don't know. Let's just think about this. So ideally you want to do this first, right? The content details, but I can see, like, with the assets, it might be a case of me not doing the assets and doing the learning outcomes. Maybe I haven't created the image yet. Maybe I haven't got the code in the state to upload yet, but I've got an idea for the learning outcomes. So maybe that rule should only be on publish. So publish should only be set if all the previous ones are correct. But I can jump between the two as long as content details are done. Yeah, okay, let's sort. So a tab is only enabled. Okay. The publish tab is only enabled if the course has sufficient data to data for it to be published. Okay, by default, all tabs are disabled except for the first one. No. Yes. Okay. Once the first tab is submitted, then the other tabs are enabled except for the publish tab. Okay. I think that makes sense to me, at least. Okay, so each tab can be accessed via an anchor link, e.g. Course, then the ID of the course, edit, learning outcomes. The course needs to be saved in the order of the tabs. No, it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense. No. Right. So 2 is by default all tabs are disabled except the first one. Number 3 is once the first tab is submitted, then the other tabs are enabled, submitted, stroke validated, stroke valid. Okay, the publish tab is only enabled if the course has sufficient data for it to be published. Yes. Okay. Which is kind of why I want to remove these two, because active and published date is kind of important together, whereas supplier and author is. Maybe we should see supplier and author. The best part of that is going to be me. So I mean, I've done a couple of courses for other companies, but which is where the supplier would change. But maybe we should do get that out and do tab. Another tab, like tab, well, this would be tab 4. Tab 4 is equal to oops. Oops, right. Author and supplier. There we go. Right, let's just preview, see what this looks like. Okay, so split out the course form into separate tabs. So content details, title, subtitle, slug, external URL, and content. I mean, this is, for the most part, these are going to be text boxes, and then this is going to be a text area. Okay. Tab 2 is assets, so that's the image and the code upload. Tab 3 is learning outcomes. Tab 4 that I haven't set up yet, let's just deal with that. Tab 4 is, let's get that back into preview mode. So tab 4, I know why it looks a bit funky. We need to put learning outcomes on a, there we go. So tab 3 is learning outcomes, tab 4 is author and supplier. Tab 5 is publish, active and publish date. Each tab can be accessed via an anchor link, course, edit, learning outcomes. By default, all tabs are disabled except for the first one. Once the first tab is submitted valid, then the other tabs are enabled except for the publish tab. The publish tab is only enabled if the course has sufficient data for it to be published. Yes. There is a question. If the accesses a disabled tab, then redirect the user to the first tab. Yeah, that sorts that out. So there's going to be a bit of JavaScript here to deal with all this jazz. All right, I think that's good. I think that's okay. Okay, I think I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to submit this. I'm going to take a quick break, get a cup of tea, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do our 15-minute bug rule. Cool. Okay, I'll speak to you very shortly. Okay. So I've decided to sit down. Okay, so I now have a mint tea. My diet is great. I think we're now ready to get into our 15-minute bug mashup. So what this is, essentially, I'm going to go, this is kind of like a regression testing type thing. I'm going to go through the website page by page, or we're going to focus on a page. We're going to find bugs on that from a CSS perspective. And if we can fix them within 15 minutes, we'll fix them within 15 minutes. And if not, we'll mark it up as a bug. And then move on. So the fix I did earlier regarding that footer, that was one I tried to do last week within 15 minutes, and I couldn't do it within 15 minutes. So we created a bug for it. The idea being is if you can write the bug out within 15 minutes, and you can fix the bug in 15 minutes, then which one would you rather do? Yes. So let's get into it. Now I'm not going to worry about this CMS anymore. Not today. There was a couple of bugs that I had noticed that I wouldn't mind just taking a look at. So, come here, get my mouse. Okay, so there's a few. One being that spacing, one being this needs to be removed. There was one on mobile. Let's focus on mobile first, fine, because that's kind of where we were at. Another one where all of the courses aren't actually being displayed properly on here. So there's a few little issues that we can probably do. I shouldn't have closed that developer tools. But the big one for me to try and get done is the distance between these two. Now really what I need to do is get into my pull request and see. Here we go. I need that one in. This has a conflict. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, let me deal with this conflict first and then we'll get into the bug 15-minute bug rule. Let's deal with this first because I kind of need it. Let's do git checkout fixes mobile footer. Okay. Git merge main. Oops. Git push. There we go. Let's merge that in. Good. Alright, let's do git checkout of main. Git pull. Good stuff. Okay, so now if we refresh our page, we should be back to where we were. Sorry, forgot it was already in Chrome. So we should now see that these are tighter, less gap. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so I want to make these a wee bit bigger because the distance or that needs to be in line. The alignment isn't good. So that's the first thing. So first of all, we'll investigate the bug, then we'll give ourselves 15 minutes to fix it. So I think the bug is to do with padding of 4, I reckon. Is that right? Yes, padding of 4. I reckon if we ditch the padding of 4 on the left and the right, so it's just padding of 4 on the top and bottom, then we could probably solve this. Okay, so let's put 15 minutes on the clock, and so that would bring us to roughly sort of half. Well, we round that up to 20. So let's do 26. I reckon we get it done by then. Yeah, let's just see. Let's take one of the smaller ones, or the ones at the bottom, because that'll be easier to line up. So it'll be like not that one, but that. They appear to have. Yeah, let's get rid of the P4 on that. That's much better. It's in line. That's much better. Right. So I think what we'll do is we'll keep the padding top and bottom. I think. Let me just kill the others and just see how bad that looks. Also, I need to take into account the other displays like iPad and responsive and iPad and desktop views. Right, so we seem to have a row. Okay, I'm missing one of them. Which one am I missing? This one. Yeah, alright. If we bump this into responsive, how does that look? Okay, so we do need the padding on responsive, but we don't need the padding on... No, yeah, so we don't need the padding on mobile. We need the padding on MD. I've got a feeling this would be course card, if I remember rightly. So if we go to front end, if we go to course index, I think it's course card. Is it course card? No. It's courses. Cancel. Yeah, course card. Here we go. So, yeah, it's this thing here. So if we did MD of 4, and then we refresh this page, then we should have our padding back. Really, that should be margin, not padding, to be fair. I will change it. There we go. Let me just change that to be margin rather than padding. Okay, no, it does need to be margin. Sorry, padding. Okay, let's just do that. Alright, let's just do that. And then let's take a look at the mobile view. Yeah, so let's get into iPhone 5. Right, so they are correct on the left and the right now. They are in line with the footer. And they are in line with the header. So we just need to deal with padding top and padding bottom. So we could do PT 4 and PB 4. Much better. Much better. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. Yeah, let's just take a look at responsive. Nothing should have changed on that. Good. Good. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that kind of solves that problem. Right. So fixes. Let's do mobile course card. Okay, cool. Bring that up. Push that up. Another issue is that if we were still, that's too big. The margin between the top, yeah, the top of here, margin MT of 8. So we might as well do it in the same branch. We'll do courses where we've got our MT of no, hang on, where are we? We're on the home page, right? Here we go. So let's do MT of 4, MD colon MT of 8. Let's try that. Just bring it up a bit. That's better, but now that looks now that looks big. Why is that? Padding bottom of 8. If we're using 4 as a rule, then really that needs to be 4 as well. So that would be off of the top of where would that live? Would that be here? So that should be P padding bottom of 4. Let's try that. I think that looks better. I think that looks better. Let's just make sure I haven't screwed anything up. I have. So what we need to do is MD PB of 8. We've still got time on this issue. It's weird that it's... Why is that course selection? It's weird that we got the course selection here. Margin top of 4, margin top of 8. Why am I removing that? That's better. I think that was a bit of just legacy code flowing about. Let's get rid of that then. So that would be here. Okay, cool. Let me just double check what it looks like on, say, an iPhone. What? What is that about? Why is that? Let's just get rid of that for a second. Right, so it should be like that. So what is causing that to M4, margin 4? Oh, I see, right. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So basically, MD PB of 8 on this whole thing. Yes. Good. That looks good. Let's go to responsive. No. Wasn't there a minus thing I had to remove? MD, MT, MD, MT. I mean, ideally you would want the whole container, right? This container to be controlling. You would want this to be right at the bottom, which it is. And then you would want the container to deal with that. So we would have MD PB 8. I don't know if that's going to work. MD. Let's give it a go. MT of 9. MD. Yeah. So again, MD PT. Actually, no, that's PB. Wait. Am I on the right one? That's PB and that's PT. Oh, course selection, of course. That would be in here, course selection. So we would do MD PB of 8. Yes, I think that's right. Good. So you got padding 8 up here and padding 8 down there, I think. No. Is there anything that's screwing this up? That's better, isn't it? Margin bottom. And can we get away with changing that to be margin top? No, that needs to be padding and then that needs to be margin. Okay, fine. That's better, I suppose. And then on responsive, on the iPhone, it should be like that. Yeah. Okay. Let's leave it like that. I think that's good because we're starting to drift a bit. So let's mark that up. not really removing, it's good. Right, so the next bug that I want to deal with on this page is this, where it says next version. That was me testing out blue-green deployments, but I just totally forgotten to remove that piece of text. so next version. Can we find it anywhere? Is it going to be in here? No. All right. What about searching? It'll be in the template. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna just jump onto another branch. So we do a git checkout of main. Don't think there's anything to pull down. Git checkout -b of fixes. Next version. Remove. And it should be, again, 15 minutes on the clock, but really it's just this. If I was to copy or refresh this, then that should just say free programming courses. Which it does. Way. Okay. Okay, I think this page is looking all right now. I mean, I've just switched branches so that this is going to be smaller, but I think those bugs that we've dealt with are good. The only thing that isn't great is the fact that on responsive we don't see all the courses. Now, there's a question mark over this, I suppose, because I wouldn't mind the front page being a little bit Netflixy. So you would have like PHP courses in a row, you would have HTML courses in a row, and Docker courses in a row, you know? So the bug here is that it's not showing all the courses, but there's a question mark over how should I categorize and display the courses in their particular categories. I need to think about that more. That looks a bit close, doesn't it? Up there. Let me just see what it looks like on other pages. So if we go to books. Yeah, it's the same pricing. I don't know, the more I look at it, the more I think that's okay. Maybe it is okay. Although that's different. It has a margin top of 20 on medium view. Now if I was to jump this into an iPhone, then it goes back to what it was before. Just sort out these pull requests. I think on mobile it's fine. I think that is actually too big. This bit up here is too big. I reckon. Padding 4. MT top 4. It's got a padding of 4, but oh, padding bottom of 4. Sorry. Yeah, what's that? What does that look like with just a padding of 4? No, that actually looks better, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's create another branch. B. We'll just call this homepage padding. Alright, so the idea is this here needs to be P4. This is on the home page, which is here. So we get rid of that. That's better. Let's just double check what it looks like on responsive. Yeah, that looks tight. That's good. Yeah, that'll go. That's the same distance as that, which is the same distance as that, which will be the same distance as that, I think. Yeah, it will be, because it's the same distance as 4 and 4. And that's 4 and 4, and that's 4 and 4, and that's 4 and... Wait, that's 4. And then the margin of 4. But it does look good. Maybe... no. I don't know now. Now I've seen that. What does MT of 0 look like? Margin of 4. MT of 0. That's how it should look, right? We take away the margin on here, but then we've got problems with maybe what we do need to do is, so it's one up from here, it's in the footer. Sorry, it's in the base, front end base. It is that, margin of 4. I don't know how badly that's going to affect the other things. So, sorry, I realised I was sat way back then. Yeah, so I don't know if we should be killing that. Let's do MX4. That's better. So yeah, if that was MX4. Because that's my left and right. Let's try that. Just see what that looks like on responsive view. Yeah, that's better. And then on responsive view, yeah, left and right looks good. Margin looks good. Okay, I think that's good for that. Let's get to the home page again. Sorry, get to the iPhone 5. Yeah, I think that looks better. All right. Now we could either move on to another page, or we could. Was there anything else I found whilst we're doing this? There was some CMS issues, but they could take ages. What else do we have in our backlog? Let's just do a git. Margin top. Let's see if we can get all of these things working together. That would be good, wouldn't it? So let's go to right, so there we go. Removing text, that's done. So I'll merge that in. Adjusting margins on the home page, that's done. Oh. Okay, got a conflict there. Let's deal with that. Which branch was this in? It was in mobile course card. So let's go git checkout main, git poll. Checkout fixes mobile course card. Oh, nope. Can't spell it. Git merge main into there. We got an issue. Let's resolve it. Do it through the command the GUI. So we do resolve conflicts and hit merge. And what do we got? So we've changed this to be now PB of 8. That looks good. So this one here is the course card one. This is from main. So the difference with this is that we got an MD PT. This one we don't. I think that needs to go in. We also have a H2, haven't done anything with a H2, so that can go out. And then here we should be removing that minus. Yep. So that looks good, I think. Yep, let's apply. And then let's do a git commit. Git push. Done. Merge that in. Confirm the merge. Delete the branch. Alright, let's have a look at the others. So that one's still going through. Let's see where that's got to. Conflict. So which branch was that? That was homepage padding. Git checkout of main. Git pull. Make sure we constantly have the updated version. Now if we do git checkout of fixes, and this is homepage padding. Git merge of main. We got the conflict, so let's go and have a look at what that is. It's probably the same thing, right? Let's resolve those conflicts. Merge, and yes, so we got PB of 8. I can't see what the difference is there actually. And we've changed that to MDP of 8. Yes, that's what we need. And down here we have our MD. We're putting in our MD/MB of 8. I think that's what we need. I think. Well, we'll review. And then... Actually, no. I don't think so. Let's go back. I think that's what we need. I think that's not what we need. I think that, yes, no, I think we're good here. I think we're good here. Okay, let's hit apply. Let me just double check. We're on that branch now, so let's just see if I can find the Chrome window. There we go. And then refresh. No, that was not the fix. Okay, let's work that through. MX of 4. Weird that that's not actually doing anything, even though that's not on an MD. Let's just do a shift refresh. Nope. Okay, what about an M4? There we go. That's better. Let's go to responsive. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, maybe that was just it. We just needed to change the MX back to M. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. Where would that be? Which file is that? That would probably be in the base. Or not. It won't be there. Ah, here we go. There we go. Good. Why is that still saying next version, though? I thought I merged that in. Okay. That's confusing. I thought I removed that. Oh well. Okay. So now if we go to here and merge that in, confirm the merge, delete the branch, have a look at what's on main, do a git poll. Oh, your local sharing changes. Oh dear. What? I thought I did a rats. Is that giving me another branch? Yeah, that one. I'm just going to skip through all this, as it's such a small change. Right, and then we're going to do git checkout main, git poll, and we should have all of them together, I think. So now if we did a refresh, do we get rid of this next version? Or have I screwed it up with the merging? Who knows? That's strange, it's still there. I thought honestly, I thought we got rid of it, but I probably have done something wrong. Git branch. Next version remove. Yeah. Yeah, we did. Git. Sorry, let me copy that. Next version remove. Yeah, let's copy that. Cute. Alright. Git. Check out. Git merge main. Alright, let's do a refresh. It's still there. Okay, let's remove it then. How strange. I thought I had pushed this all up and merged it and all sorts. Let's just do a git status a minute. Let's do a git diff. It is literally just removing that piece of text. Okay, let's just see if we can find it. How odd. I'm going to go straight into it. I can't be bothered. Yep. Okay. Let's refresh, and that should have been removed. How weird. I don't know. Don't know why that was a thing. Okay, so now, once that's done, yeah. Once that's done, we should now work on have a look at some issues here. So that's what we've just done. What I would like to do is probably put a link between these two. So this requires this. That's 216. So we'll do requires hash 216. Yeah. All right. So now I've created a dependency. On that one. Let's have a look at some more issues then. So we can't do that until that's done. That's a tricky one. I'll probably do that off stream. There's a debate as to whether or not I should bother with that because it is CMS stuff. Course page prerequisites list, that's an enhancement that I wouldn't mind doing. Course image on mobile view, I mentioned that needs to be changed because I want to change up the list. I think we should probably end this on an enhancement, actually. I'm looking at this course page prerequisite list because I think this needs to be another tab within here, right?
Hello, coders.
So hey, thanks for joining, co-pilots. Question: if HTML had a framework, what would it be called? Semantic, I reckon. Semantic, yeah, semantic, as in semantic HTML. I reckon that's probably what it would be. Yeah. But I mean, you wouldn't have a framework for HTML. For multiple reasons, some of which I can't think of right now, but you wouldn't. The thing is, HTML really is, the elements are components. And if you start thinking of it like that, then the framework that is closest to HTML, dare I say, is React, because you're creating components of HTML elements. Yes, you've got the JavaScript, yes, you've got your CSS and all of that stuff, but you're actually building components via HTML markup, I guess. Yeah. So I'm gonna just change this and change the. I'm gonna add another tab. So what we got now, 5 tabs. I'm gonna add another tab called prerequisites, and I can't spell prerequisite, so that'll be interesting. Can I do a edit on here? So on learning outcomes, I kind of want another tab under here. Oops. That didn't go so well. I want to copy you. I want to paste that underneath. There we go. So this is going to be called Prerequisites. I don't know how to spell it. I think I actually have an issue with it spelled correctly, so let's just grab that. There we go. I think I was close. No, I wasn't. Anyway, so that'll be tab 3. And we'll put, just for good measure, we'll put that back in here. And then we've got tab... no, that's tab 4. Sorry, tab 4. That's tab 5. And then that's tab 6. So, tab 1 is content details, tab 2 is assets, tab 3 is learning outcomes, tab 4 is prerequisites, tab 5 is author, and tab 6 is publish. Okay. And the reason I did that was because, whoops, sorry, was because if I, this prerequisites thing is very similar to the learning outcomes that we had previously, where we've got a bunch of to-do items here, and then we've got that CMS thing here. So I reckon we could probably complete all of this very quickly. And then in the CMS, have a task specifically for the CMS, and then link it as a dependency stroke subtask of the tab. I think that's probably a good thing. So let's work through that. So we're going to break our 15-minute bug fixie rule, and we're actually going to build out this course page prerequisites thing. So we're going to get back into PHP for this part, I think. Now this is going to be fairly straightforward, he says. Let's do a git checkout -b. I might stand up for this. Just because I've been sat on my ass for a while. There we go. Prerequisite. Okay, I'm just gonna stand up. Standing desk going up. Right. Bring that up. Okay, so this is going to be changed to the database. It's going to be changed to the entities. So we're going to have a build a migration for this. It's going to be very similar to the learning outcomes. In fact, it's going to be pretty much the same deal. Just the properties are going to be different. So we've got the display order, we got the outcome, and then we got the course. I think that's pretty much it. If we were to think about the tests for this, how are the tests set? So go to the entities, go to learning outcome test. Yeah, so it's going to be very similar to this. Basically, create a prerequisite. Prerequisite is just going to be a sentence. You know, you must know this before you do X, Y, Z. Just looking at my watch here, it's telling me to stand, and I've just stood. So, yay tech. Yeah, so it's going to be fairly straightforward on this. On the actual course itself, do we have... Oops. Do we have anything? Yeah, look, we got a learning outcome test here. So add learning outcome, add multiple learning outcomes. So very similar to this. So let's create our failing tests. Yeah, that'll be the first thing to do. And our failing tests are going to be how many times am I going to spell prerequisite wrong? Do I have that still on my clipboard? No, I don't. Brilliant. And I've just removed that. Wonderful. I'm just going to Google what this is, because then I will find it. It'll be in my prerequisite. Gotcha. Course prerequisite test. Good. All right. Yes, I want to add this to the thing. So let's change. Let's do a search for learning outcome, and we'll change that to prerequisite. They look all good. Yeah, replace all those. Thank you. So we're going to instantiate. What we'll do is we'll just comment this out. We'll instantiate a new course prerequisite SITE, and we'll set the requirement as learner should have a basic understanding of Linux, of the Linux bash shell. So I'm just making this up, right? So we want to make sure that that is, you know, like as a typical piece of text. Okay, so that's going to fail obviously because that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Let's create some more failing tests as well. So let's go and comment that one. So we're going to grab that. This is going to be set requirement. So let's copy that, paste into there. Let's grab that again. And that's going to be get requirement. Again, we don't have that existing yet, so that's going to fail. So that's another failing test. So this is set requirement. And then down here we've got display order. So yeah, that is a good thing to have. So again, we grab the that. We set the display order. Again, that will fail because we don't have that. That will work. And then this here is set course. Okay, so we instantiate a new course. We set the title as ABC. We create a new prerequisite. So all of this is just testing the accessors really and how the object hangs together. So we then set the course of the new course, and then we do entity, which is prerequisite. Okay, so if I ran all of these, it'll miserably fail. So let's just do that. So make test unit, and it'll run all the unit tests and fail those 4, I want to say. There they are. Just making sure that I haven't screwed anything else up. Okay, cool. So yeah, it was just these 4 that I need to fix, which is good. So what we need to do is create our new entity. Now the entity is going to be very similar, if not the same, as learning outcome. So again, I need to P. Oh, hang on a minute. I've even spelt prerequisite wrong there. Ugh, great. I've gone prerequisite. Ah. REQISSITE. Okay, course prerequisite. Yeah, let's just add that. Let me just sort out the issues that I've just spotted on here. That needs to be the same. That needs to be the same. That needs to be the same. Right, and then the import is going to be that one. Right, so now we've got that in play. That needs to be the repo that we need to create. This is the table name, so this is going to be just prerequisite course underscore prerequisite. Okay, that's fine, although we need to have prerequisites. Nullable is no. A prerequisite needs to have a core. Yeah, okay, so that's good. Yeah, so it's not nullable. Okay, then we got this. This needs to be a requirement. So we have minimum of 4, min message the outcome. So this needs to be the prerequisite outcome. The prerequisite must be at least 4 characters long. That's good. Display order is what we've. That's good. The requirement that we've just defined up here is the toString. The course is correct. Set course, that is good. That needs to be changed to course prerequisite, which is the same as the return type there. That is going to be get outcome is going to be get requirement. We have a test for that. Set outcome is set requirement. We have a test for that that we've just created. Requirement. I can't spell it. Cannot spell to save my life. What's wrong with that? Typo in Word. Set requirement. Okay, fine. So again, that needs to be here, here. That needs to be requirement, and we're going to run these tests in a minute. I'll do them now actually, because we have changed a lot of code. That's the requirement. Right, before I go any further, let's just run that test. And also, let's deal with this. Alright, we should be good. What's up there? Okay, it's just saying that we can't find the... find that. That's alright. Right, let's run these tests and see how badly I've screwed things up. I think it should be okay. And then the next stage is to deal with the repo. And then after that, we need to deal with the course entity. And then after that, we need to, once I'm happy with the code, we then run PHP. Well, in order to be happy with the code, I need to run static analysis. Then we need to run so that's all good. That's good. Then we need, yeah. So let's build this. Let's build that. So let's go to our repository. Do we have any tests on the repo? Doesn't look like it. No. Okay, I don't actually think there's a lot in here, to be fair. I think it's just sort of a placeholder file, which is fine. Let's just find that. So repositories, code, learning outcome, course learning outcome. There we go. Let's go to copy that. And this is going to be my probably not the right spelling. Let's just grab that I know is correct and rename that. Okay, no, that was fine. Okay, so that would be course which means that should now be wired up, which it is. Good, good, good. So let's change that to be course. Do we need that? I don't think we do. There we go. That's good. Change the... There's that. That can go. Whoops. Okay, so that's done. And then we need to test this section. So where we got the multiple outcomes and the adding of a single outcome. Yeah. Although you then have set... So you got 3 additional tests, yeah? Add multiple, and then what does the multiple do? Oh, right, this is checking the display orders. Okay, fine. Let's paste that into here. So that should be... Actually, wait. It's up here. Add prerequisite. Have I started to spell that correctly now? Yes. Course prerequisite. Oops. Okay, so we're now saying that we need to do set requirement. Learner requires basic knowledge of PHP strings. Totally making that all up. Okay, so we instantiate a new course. This is the thing that is going to fail because we haven't built that yet, so that's fine. So instead of add learning outcome, that's going to be add prerequisite. We want to make sure that when we get the prerequisites, another method that doesn't exist, prerequisite. Can't spell it. R-E-Q-I-S. Right. Get prerequisites. Yes, that becomes one, and we want to make sure that there is only one in here. So we want to make sure that that isn't contained in here. Okay, fine. Again, I'm going to comment these out for a second, and then we'll run the tests. And can we just focus specifically on the course tests this time? Entity course, entity. No, we can't. Damn. I tell you what, we could. Yeah, I don't really want to run them all. That's not it. I'll run them all. It's all good. No problem there. Why is it still saying 408? Tests. Test. Why is that 408? Didn't we have 408? 408. So why is that still saying? Oh no, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong output. It is 409. There we go. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong output there. There we go. So we should have one that fails now. Because on course we don't have add prerequisite, which requires a course prerequisite. And we don't have the get prerequisites method. So we'll smash through all that. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we need to get into, we'll just copy that. We'll get into course. And where we've got something that might complain is PHP MD. But let's just go with it. All right. So it's pretty much the same as this. However, I reckon PHP-MD will complain because there's too many methods in here. The cyclomatic complexity will be too big, especially with these if statements. So this will be a course prerequisite. That's what we're trying to achieve here by putting that in. Again, this will be a course prerequisite. And we're making sure that get prerequisite get prerequisites contain course prerequisite. And if that's false, then what we do is we grab that, we set the display order of get prerequisites, we get the count, we add the 1, so that's the next one up. That's the display order that we're setting. We then do course prerequisite, we set the course, and then we do this we don't do that. We do prerequisite, this prerequisite add, and we add the prerequisite, and then we return this. So a couple of issues here. We don't have that method. We don't have that property. Let's just grab that and move it because it's in the wrong place. It's in the wrong. Let's just get rid of that space. There we go. I want to put it down here. Okay, so first of all, we really should create ourselves a method, a property. Let's do outcome. There we go. So it's very similar to this in the sense that prerequisites collection course, so that's a collection of course prerequisite, which is, I was hoping my autocomplete would pick this up, but it's not. There we go. Yep. Okay. All right. So we got that method in. Sorry, that property in. So now if we just grab that, dive to, I don't think I've spelt that right, have I? Where's the, down here. Yeah, that needs to be this prerequisites. There we go. Right, so we're missing a method get prerequisite. So let's grab that. Again, it's going to be very similar to here. In fact, we also need set, but we'll deal with that in a second. We'll just get everything piped up for this method to work. So we got get prerequisites. It's a collection and it returns this prerequisites. Fine. All right, let's just run the tests. Cool. Okay, here we go. Type property prerequisites. I just want to double check. Am I actually spelling that right? Or have I just completely butchered it all over the place? No. Okay. I have no faith in my spelling. So the error here is a type property prerequisites must not be accessed before initialization. I've got a feeling this is because it's a collection of prerequisites. Isn't that supposed to be an array, maybe? Down here, in here. Yes, it is. So we do this. Prerequisites is equal to a new array collection. There we go. Let's run those tests again. We'll keep doing this until that test passes, and then we'll uncomment the other tests, and we'll basically just do a rinse and repeat. I know this is testing entities and accessor methods, but my take on this is that knowing that my spelling is so bad, knowing that there is potential for a lot of human error, I don't mind. This is like having another developer looking over my shoulder and going, you haven't spelled that correct. So there we go, that's all in now. Good. And notice I haven't even done any migrations yet, so I'm hoping that once this is done, the migrations will just work. Okay, so this is setting that up. Okay, so I mean, imagine if you had a DBA and you said to a DBA, "Oh, I need these in," but I haven't actually tested yet whether or not the entities hang together right. There we go. Okay, so this will be add multiple. And what's this doing? So I've just basically carbon copied this from the... I mean, ideally... See, I can't even spell multiple. Multiple. Thank you. Right. So ideally these tests probably should be in a different file, to be fair, because we're testing something specific. I mean, I know we're testing the course entity, but we're testing a specific part of the course entity. So one could argue that we could actually, craft this better. Okay, so what we want to do here is add multiple learning outcomes, and essentially what we're doing is we're testing the display order. So really what this should be called is test prerequisite. Prerequisite display order. Typo in Word. Okay, so again, we instantiate the prerequisite, and we're instantiating another one here. We are setting the requirement. So for ease, I'm going to do just requirement 1. Oh, for God's sake. And then down here, we're going to do set requirement. This is going to be requirement 2. Then we're going to do a course. We're going to add prerequisite to here, and we're going to add prerequisite to there. So let's do, again, let's grab prerequisite from here, paste that into there, lowercase the p, that's going to be 1. Come on. That's going to be 2. And we'll pass them into here. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 1. Okay, and then down here we make sure that there's only 2 in the get prerequisites method. And then down here we do learning outcome 1. And outcome 1. And we're essentially just picking at these and making sure that they are the same. Sorry, that should. So I'm comparing, aren't I? Yep, so that's 1. Get the display order of 1. Prerequisite 2. Get the display order of 2. And this is get prerequisites. Get prerequisites down here. Okay, cool. So that should, in theory, be fine. Let's just run the tests. And then the next one down here is adding testing setting of them. So basically the same deal. This is adding singly, and then this is setting them. So where we've got our set, we set our collection. So that's the only difference. So we can grab the body of that, paste that in. Aha, right. Failed asserting that course prerequisite object contains. Okay. I did think that that was going to be okay, but obviously not. So what have I done? So we're instantiating a course prerequisite 1 and 2, and we're adding them. 1 and 2. Okay, so on line 564, this one. I see what I've done. There we go. Right, let's run that again. Oh, hang on, wait. Did I just switch? I did. There we go. Right. So whilst this is going through, I think it'll be okay now, but once this, as we're going through this, what we'll do is we'll just throw this in here. Nope, that didn't work. That did not work at all. Whoops. Please tell me that hasn't messed up the tests. No. Okay, so learning outcome. We'll just deal with all of this. So that would be that one. That one. That's 2. That's 2. That's 2. That's 1. Oh, we got a failure. Too few arguments to call add prerequisite. 0 passed. And exactly 1 is expected. Okay. See, this is why we have tests, because there's these things that crop up. Add prerequisite course. Add prerequisite. Oh. There we go. Right. Off you go. So we've got prerequisite 1. That needs to be course prerequisite down in here. And that is set requirement. Again, that's the same del in here. That's that in there. We instantiate a new course. We create our collection. So that's 1. That's 2. We set our prerequisites. I'm just going to grab that from up here. No. Yes. Well, it's the same deal. Just change add to set. And then we get our prerequisites. like so. And we are checking again the display order. Right, good. So let's uncomment this. So this is set multiple. Come on. Right, set. Oh yes, so that is our failing thing. We don't have the set of that, and that needs to be prerequisite 2, right? 2, yeah. Prerequisite 2. That needs to be the same as that. Right, let's run the test. That should fail because we don't have set. Yep, we don't have sets, so let's go and add that. So that's on the course. Set learning outcomes. It's going to be very similar, so we'll grab that. Paste that down into here. Now what this is doing is it's looping over. Oh, yeah, it's looping over our collection. So we got sets here. Our collection of prerequisites, like so. So for each, we clear the prerequisites first, yeah? And then we loop over the prerequisites as prerequisite. And then we add our prerequisite, which deals with the display order and all that. That needs to have an S on the end. I think we're good. So let's run the tests. Oops. I think we should be there. And then the next thing after this is to run PHP stan, just to make sure our types are correct. Oh, we got an issue. So found course prerequisite object. Have I screwed up the tests again? Yes, I have. Alright, let's try again. Yeah, run PHP stan just to make sure the static types are okay. Then need to run PHP MD because I've got a feeling it's going to ask me to refactor the course entity because it's got now an additional 3 methods in there, which really I think would probably be best in a trait. And then I need to run the migrations, and then after that I need to update the fixtures to allow for prerequisites to be added to the learning outcomes. So that's now done. Let's now just run make test. Now what this will do, tests, Pete, make tests. This will be the final thing, just to run through that. That's going to run PHP CBF. This is making sure that the code is in a good format, which it is. Now it's running some security checks. Now it's running PHP-MD, and I've got a feeling this is gonna be the thing that fails. Yes, here we go. So it now has 11 public methods. Consider refactoring the course to keep the number of public methods under 10. The class has an overall complexity of 53, which is very high. The configured complexity is 50. It's 53 because we've added those additional 3 methods in. So that's something I'm going to have to deal with. Git commit. I'm going to just I tell you what I'll do is I will run static analysis, which would have been the next thing under this. Just because PHP stan is ran. I'm still getting my watch telling me to stand. I'm hoping this is going to be okay. It should be. It should be. And then what I'll do is I'll commit and push this up to GitHub, and then I'll work through that this evening, adding all those features in. So this is on level 7. Yep, that's all cleared. Alright, so now let's do a git status. So that's what we've changed. So git commit -am, adding course pre. It's the only place I've actually spelt it. That's 2 words. Entity and repo. Okay, so we'll push that up, and then I can work on that later, as I think we've done quite well on that. So we fixed a bunch of bugs. We found a bunch of bugs and we fixed those too, and then we've worked on this enhancement. So to be fair, I think this has been a good stream. It's been a good stream. I'm going to shoot off now. I'm going to grab some food, and then I'm going to watch the football game, even though I'm not a football fan at all. But it's quite a big game, so I'm actually quite excited. Take care, everyone. Happy coding, and I'll see you again next week. Tuesday at 8 o'clock British summertime on YouTube. YouTube.com/howtocodewell. I'll be live on there, and we'll be doing some more of this. Happy coding, everyone. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.